Baby Bebe and Fluffy.
In Runningdale Park, baby Bebe played happily with her bunny, Fluffy. But today, Fluffy found something strange.
Fluffy, what is that?
Bebe called her friends quickly. Everyone gathered around the mystery treasure chest.
Wow, a real treasure chest. Let's take it to the playhouse.
Inside the playhouse, Bebe opened the chest slowly. Suddenly, a golden light burst out.
Is it magic?
The light swirled around them. In a blink, they were inside a magical village.
Well, we're inside the story. This is so cool.
The little boy sat alone, looking scared and sad. Baby Bebe walked closer with a kind smile.
I don't know where to go. Don't worry, we'll help you.
My child, you're safe.
The children found the boy's aunt. She hugged him tightly. Then something amazing happened. The lost boy was a prince in disguise. A golden token floated into his hands.
He's a prince.
Thank you for helping me. This is for you.
The magic book drifted the children away from the village and back into the storybook. Back in the playhouse, the magical book glowed softly. The children smiled proudly.
It's glowing. We helped someone today. And we found magic.
The storybook shimmered, ready for the next adventure. Another beautiful day in Runningdale, Harare. Outside the wooden playhouse, the children are playing with Fluffy. The magical book in the treasure chest began to glow. A swirl of golden light filled the room. It was time for another adventure. And whoosh, they were gone. The storybook drifted the children away to a magical village.
We are in the story again. Look, it's a flower shop.
They saw the flower shop lady.
Oh, my dear children, my flowers are dying. People stopped coming.
Why do the flowers look sleepy? They look sad.
Don't worry, we can help.
So they watered the flowers gently. And slowly the flowers began to rise. The lady smiled with happy tears.
They're blooming again, thank you. Here, little one, take this magical token. Thank you for everything.
The magical book began to glow again, lifting them back home. Back in the playhouse, the magical portal began to close. The token shimmered in Bebe's tiny hands.
We helped someone, and we got another token.
The children sat happily, excited for the next adventure. Another sunny day in Runningdale, Harare, and baby Bebe and her friends were playing in their little playhouse. They laughed, shared stories, and Fluffy the bunny hopped happily around the room. Suddenly, the magical storybook in the treasure chest began to glow. Golden sparkles swirled through the air as the storybook slowly opened.
Look, the book is glowing again. Wow, I think it's taking us somewhere.
A swirling golden portal appeared, pulling the children gently into another adventure. In a flash of magic, they arrived in a mysterious land. In front of them stood a tall, quiet castle surrounded by mist.
This place looks lonely.
The giant castle doors slowly creaked open. Inside the castle hall, everything was silent and dusty. But in a quiet corner, someone was sitting alone.
Oh, visitors! I haven't seen anyone in a very long time.
Hello, I'm Bebe. Are you feeling lonely?
The children decided to bring laughter back to the quiet castle. And then something magical happened. Flowers began blooming along the castle.
I forgot what laughter sounded like. Thank you.
The old man glowed with golden light and transformed into a noble castle lord.
For your kindness, baby Bebe, please accept this magical token.
And just like that, the storybook brought the children back home.
That was fun. We got another token for helping the nobleman. I wonder what adventure the storybook will take us to next.
In Runningdale Park, Harare, the sun shone brightly over baby Bebe's backyard playhouse. Baby Bebe and her friends laughed and played, while Fluffy the little bunny hopped around sniffing happily. Suddenly the treasure chest opened and the storybook began to glow. It was time for another adventure. A swirling portal began to form, shining brighter and brighter before their eyes. Baby Bebe and her friends went into the glowing portal. They arrived in a magical world filled with sweets and wonder.
Look, it's made of sweets.
Chocolate rivers flowed gently and colorful candy trees stood all around. Above them, soft pink marshmallow clouds drifted slowly across the sky. They saw cheerful lollipop people greeted them with friendly smiles. The whole village felt alive with joy, color, and sweet surprises. The children looked around in amazement at the beautiful Candyland. In the distance stood a grand candy castle shining like a dream. They found a candy playground filled with laughter and fun. They slid down chocolate slides and played together with big smiles. Fluffy hopped happily, enjoying every moment of the sweet adventure. Soon, they saw a small candy child who needed help picking things up.
I can help. We can all help.
In that moment, they showed that helping others brings true joy. But not everything was joyful, as they soon met a sad chocolate maker. He had lost his inspiration and didn't know what to create anymore.
Let us help him create something new.
Together, they began mixing chocolate, sharing ideas, and working as a team. The chocolateria began to feel inspired.
I have the most brilliant idea.
The chocolateria began creating. Slowly, the chocolate came to life, forming something magical and new. The chocolate world transformed, becoming more beautiful than ever before. Grateful and happy, the chocolate man created a special golden chocolate token. He handed it to Baby Bebe as a gift for their kindness and help.
Thank you for your help.
The magical book appeared again, opening a glowing portal back home. The children stepped through together, carrying their memories and the token. Back in the playhouse, they smiled, ready for their next adventure. Baby Bebe and her friends were gathered in their playhouse, laughing and enjoying a peaceful day together. Fluffy, the little white bunny, hopped around happily, sniffing everything in sight with curiosity. Suddenly, the magical storybook on the table began to glow softly, catching everyone's attention. The children leaned closer, their eyes wide with wonder as the book slowly opened by itself. Golden light poured from the pages, filling the playhouse with warmth and magic. A swirling portal formed above the book, spinning gently like a doorway to another world. The children looked at each other, excited and ready for another adventure. A swirling portal began to form, shining brighter and brighter before their eyes. Baby Bebe and her friends went into the glowing portal. In a flash of light, they arrived in a magical land filled with castles, banners, and cobblestone streets. The kingdom was beautiful, shining brightly under the golden sunlight. Villagers moved about their day, but something didn't feel quite right. The children soon met a brave knight and a worried lady standing in the village. The knight explained that a powerful lord had taken control and threatened their peaceful home. The villagers were scared, and hope was slowly fading from the kingdom. The children listened carefully, their hearts filled with compassion.
We'll help you. We won't let your village fall.
Together, they gathered around and made a clever plan to save the villagers. Each child shared ideas while Fluffy hopped across the map playfully. With teamwork and determination, they were ready to begin their mission. They traveled through an enchanted forest filled with glowing trees and dancing light. The path ahead was not easy, but they stayed brave and strong together. Along the way, they carefully avoided traps set to stop anyone from reaching the castle. Soon, they found villagers trapped and quickly worked together to set them free. Smiles returned as hope began to shine again in the hearts of the people. At last they stood before the powerful lord in the castle courtyard. He was strong and intimidating, but the children did not back down. Instead of fighting with force, they used their clever plan to outsmart him. Working together, they distracted him and led him straight into their trap. In a moment, the kingdom was free and the danger had passed. Cheers filled the air as the villagers celebrated their bravery. Joy returned to the kingdom, brighter than ever before. The knight and the lady smiled, grateful for the children's kindness and courage. As a thank you, the knight gave Bebe a glowing golden token of bravery. The portal appeared once again, opening a path back home. In a flash, they were back in their playhouse, holding their new memory close. They had learned that even the smallest heroes can make the biggest difference. Baby Bebe and her friends were playing happily inside the playhouse, laughter filling the air as the warm sun shone outside. The magical storybook began to glow softly, its golden light flickering as if calling them toward a new adventure. Fluffy, the little white bunny, hopped excitedly, sensing the magic as the book slowly opened on its own. A swirling golden portal rose from the pages, spinning gently and lighting up the entire room. The children looked at each other with excitement, knowing it was time for another journey.
Let's go.
They stepped forward together into the glowing light. In a flash of light, they landed in a vast and beautiful savannah, stretching endlessly beneath a bright blue sky. Golden grass danced in the wind and birds soared high above, singing softly. Fluffy hopped into the tall grass, curious and full of excitement. Tall giraffes moved gracefully across the land, their long necks swaying like gentle giants. A herd of elephants walked slowly nearby, their footsteps deep and powerful. Zebras dashed across the plains in perfect rhythm, their stripes blurring in motion. Suddenly, a mighty lion appeared, standing tall with its mane glowing in the sunlight. The children stood in awe, amazed by the beauty of the wild. All around them, animals gathered peacefully, forming a magical circle. From the distance, a kind Savannah keeper approached. Calm and confident, she smiled warmly, her ranger outfit blending with the golden land around her.
The animals need your help.
The Savannah keeper gently pointed towards the horizon. The children listened carefully, understanding the importance of protecting the animals. They looked at one another, ready to help without hesitation.
We'll do it.
Together, they quickly made a plan, drawing in the sand and thinking creatively. Fluffy hopped across their drawings, making them laugh as they worked. Even in the middle of danger, their joy never faded. The animals began to move together, guided by the children's clever ideas. Elephants formed a strong barrier while birds flew above as watchful guides. Every creature played a part, working together in perfect harmony. Soon, the savannah was peaceful again, glowing with warm golden light. The lion let out a powerful roar, echoing across the land in victory. The children smiled, knowing they had helped protect something truly special. The savannah keeper stepped forward and raised a glowing golden token into the air. It floated gently toward baby Bebe, shining as a reward for their kindness and bravery. Back in the playhouse, the book slowly closed as the children happily waited for the next adventure. One sunny afternoon in Runningdale Park, baby Bebe and her friends laughed and played inside their cozy little playhouse, while Fluffy the bunny bounced around excitedly. Suddenly, the magical storybook inside the glowing treasure chest began to sparkle and shimmer with warm golden light. The pages flipped by themselves as tiny glowing sparkles danced through the air. A beautiful swirling portal opened right in the middle of the playhouse, glowing softly like sunshine and stars mixed together. The children stared in amazement before stepping through the magical doorway together, giggling with excitement as a brand new adventure began. On the other side of the portal was the most charming village the children had ever seen. Tiny cottages covered in flowers lined the cobblestone streets. Lanterns glowed warmly beside colorful gardens, and butterflies fluttered through the bright blue sky. As the children wandered through the village square, they noticed a kind grandmother sitting quietly on a garden bench. She smiled warmly at them, but her eyes looked sad. Grandma Amma explained that her beautiful music box had disappeared, and ever since then, the village had lost some of its joy and music. The children immediately promised to help her search for it. Fluffy twitched his little nose excitedly and began sniffing around as if he already knew where the adventure would be. The friends searched all across the magical village, peeking into flower gardens, crossing tiny bridges over sparkling streams, and wandering through bustling little markets filled with cakes, flowers, and glowing lanterns. Birds chirped overhead while warm sunlight poured across the cobblestone streets. Everywhere they went, the children spread laughter and joy, making the villagers smile again. Fluffy bounced ahead of everyone like a tiny fluffy explorer leading the way. Soon, Fluffy dashed toward a large, ivy-covered cottage at the edge of the village. Inside the dusty attic, beams of golden sunlight sparkled through the windows like magic. The room was filled with old toys, teddy bears, books, quilts, and forgotten treasures. Suddenly, Fluffy hopped onto a pile of blankets and uncovered something hidden underneath. The children gasped as they discovered a glowing golden music box covered in tiny flowers and sparkling jewels. Baby Bebe carefully opened the music box, and instantly the most beautiful melody floated through the attic. Glowing musical notes danced through the air, while golden sparkles swirled all around the children. The dusty room suddenly felt alive again, filled with warmth, laughter, and magical light. Fluffy spun happily in circles while the children clapped and danced to the cheerful tune. It felt as if the music itself had sprinkled happiness across the whole world. The children hurried back to the village square, carrying the glowing music box carefully in their hands. When Grandma Alma saw it, her face lit up with joy. The moment the music began to play again, the entire village transformed. Flowers bloomed brighter than ever, lanterns shimmered like tiny stars, butterflies filled the sky, and villagers gathered together laughing and dancing in the square. The magical melody wrapped around the village like a warm hug, filling every corner with happiness once again. Grandma Alma thanked baby Bebe for finding her music box, gave her a glowing musical note token. Just then, the magical storybook began glowing once more. Golden sparkles swirled through the village square as the glowing portal slowly reopened beside the fountain. The children hugged Grandma Alma goodbye while Fluffy bounced excitedly around their feet. With one last wave to the smiling villagers, the friends stepped through the magical portal together, carrying their wonderful memories home with them. Back inside the playhouse, the glowing portal slowly faded away as the magical storybook gently closed itself. Baby Bebe placed the glowing musical note token beside the treasure chest as Fluffy curled up happily nearby. The children smiled at one another, wondering where the magical storybook would take them next, as tiny golden sparkles twinkled softly through the cozy playhouse air. In the sunny heart of Runningdale Park in Harare, baby Bebe and her friends were playing inside their cozy playhouse when the magical storybook suddenly fluttered open by itself. Golden sparkles swirled around the room as Fluffy the bunny hopped excitedly beside the glowing pages. A beautiful frosting-colored portal appeared, lighting up the playhouse with magical warmth. Laughing with excitement, the children stepped closer, ready for another adventure. The moment they crossed through the glowing portal, the children arrived inside an enormous bakery kingdom unlike anything they had ever seen. Giant cake palaces stretched high into the sky while chocolate rivers flowed beneath. Croissant bridges, ice cream towers sparkled, beside glowing gingerbread streets filled with cupcake people, muffin villagers, cherry citizens, and dancing pastry bands. The magical world felt sweet, colorful, and larger than life. As they explored the glowing bakery streets, the children met Master Baker Theodore inside a magnificent gingerbread palace bakery. Although the kingdom was beautiful, the baker looked worried. He explained that the runaway gingerbread man had disappeared from the gingerbread district, and without him, the Grand Cake Palace celebration could not begin. Determined to help, the children followed Fluffy as he sniffed out a trail of giant cookie crumbs. Through donut fountains and strawberry cake gardens, they crossed a giant croissant bridge above chocolate waterfalls and ran beneath glowing frosting towers while candy balloons floated through the air. At last, the children found the gingerbread man standing quietly beside the glowing Christmas cake palace. He admitted he was afraid he did not belong in the gingerbread district. Baby Bebe gently reminded him that kindness and friendship were what truly made someone special. Slowly, the gingerbread man smiled again as warm magical lights sparkled around the glowing cakes and icing decorations. Together, the children walked him back through the glowing bakery streets as the entire kingdom burst into celebration. Frosting fireworks lit up the sky, while cupcake people danced beside muffin villagers and cherry citizens. The gingerbread district was finally complete again, and the bakery kingdom glowed brighter than ever before. To thank them, Master Baker Theodore handed baby Bebe a glowing magical gingerbread token shaped like a little cookie crown. Golden sparkles swirled around it as the children stared in amazement. From high frosting balconies, they admired the endless bakery skyline filled with giant cake palaces, glowing candy rivers, and sparkling ice cream towers stretching far into the distance. As the magical celebration came to an end, the glowing storybook portal appeared once more in the middle of the gingerbread streets. The children waved goodbye to their new bakery friends before stepping back through the glowing light. Moments later, they were back inside their cozy playhouse in Runningdale Park. Harari, baby Bebe carefully placed the magical gingerbread token beside the storybook as golden sparkles drifted softly through the room, and the magical book slowly closed itself once again. One bright afternoon, baby Bebe, Fluffy, Timmy, Mimi, and Paul were having fun in their playhouse when something magical happened. The mysterious treasure chest began to glow, and the enchanted storybook floated into the air, its pages turned by themselves, filling the room with golden sparkles. Suddenly, a swirling portal appeared before them. Curious and excited, the friends stepped forward together, ready for their next adventure. The portal carried them to a quiet, beautiful winter village covered in sparkling ice and snow. Baby Bebe and her friends noticed a trail of unusual footprints pressed into the fresh snow. The glowing footprints wound through sparkling winter pathways and past snow-covered trees, leading deeper into the heart of the kingdom. Following the mysterious trail, the children arrived at a magnificent city square decorated with giant crystal snowflakes, glittering ice sculptures, and beautiful winter lanterns. In the center stood a breathtaking winter castle, its shining towers rising high above the snowy village. There they met Jack Frost and a kind ice princess who welcomed them warmly. But despite all the beauty around them, something was wrong. Santa Claus had disappeared, and Christmas could not continue until he was found. Determined to help, the children joined Jack Frost and the Ice Princess on a journey through the snowy countryside. They followed winding paths through an enchanted forest filled with crystal trees and magnificent winter statues. Along the way, Fluffy hopped ahead, helping guide the group deeper into the magical landscape. Their search eventually led them to a mysterious crystal chamber hidden among the snowy mountain caves. Inside, giant crystal pieces formed an enormous puzzle. The children quickly realized that solving the puzzle was the key to finding Santa. Working together, they carefully studied the pieces, shared ideas, and slowly placed each crystal into its proper position. As the final crystal clicked into place, the entire chamber began to glow. A secret door slowly opened, revealing a hidden dungeon beyond. To everyone's delight, Santa Claus was safely waiting inside. The children cheered with excitement as Santa thanked them for their courage, teamwork, and determination. Together they returned to the Christmas village, where joyful celebrations immediately began. Lights sparkled brighter than ever, music filled the air, and villagers gathered to welcome Santa home. As a reward for her kindness and leadership, the Ice Princess presented baby Bebe with a special winter token. It was a reminder that helping others is the greatest gift of all. After saying goodbye to their new friends, the children stepped back through the glowing portal and returned safely to their playhouse. The magical storybook rested quietly inside the treasure chest, the lid closed and locked once more. As the final sparkles faded, baby Bebe and her friends smiled, knowing that every adventure had taught them something special. The end.